Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Brown and I am here to talk to you about the program I've been developing for children ages 6 to 10 in inner cities at local YMCAs to provide sufficient after-school care. My executive summary. Now, many places have after-school care, and sometimes it's just that. You're in the care of someone, you're not learning, it's not educational, you're not thriving on what possibilities. They're just endless possibilities everywhere. So I'm here to provide a program that would let children go in and have the educational aspects of after-school care. This is a Monday through Friday program from 3:30 to 6:30. The price is $10 per child per day, so that's $50 a week, and it works out to a fairly reasonable price considering all that you're getting, as well as the extra time the parent can earn through their business or through working. From 3:30 to 6:30, it gives you a lot of flexibility for your schedule at work, which helps out a lot of single parent households. It'll provide a healthy snack after school and professional level tutors. Many opportunities for extracurricular activities will also be there. There'll be special opportunities for speakers, educational field trips, and daily physical activity. Each child will actively participate and gain knowledge in education, social, and physical fields. Literature review. For this, I studied 4 programs that happened in different places around the world. The first one was called Active Generations. Active Generations was based on the west coast of the United States, off of a study that found that most obese children actually had obese parents. So they thought, what can we do to battle this? And they're providing nutritional programming 5 days a week after school. Now, one of those days is a later evening program, and it's provided as a family nutritional counseling program. Really great results with that one. The next is Doodle Den. Doodle Den was done in Ireland, and it was a 3-year intense literacy campaign that based itself on structure. Also very successful. The third was a difference using African American Distributed Multiple Learning Style System, or AAD-MLSS, and Culturally Situated Design Tools, CSDT, in urban ethnic groups. It did something really cool that I've never heard before. So geometry is difficult for some people to learn. I know I struggled with geometry. What this did is it taught children geometry based off of the styles and cornrow hairstyles. So children went into something they were very familiar with in an urban setting and learned that there's math in that, and there's math in everything, which was really awesome. The fourth study I looked at was Holistic After-School Tutoring Approach. It was the only program to have individual tutoring. Now, each of the 4 studies achieved their hypothesis at the onset of the program and were very successful. Children excelled in every category they were measuring. Needs to be met for my program. There's many gangs in inner cities. I know in the city I live in, we have a lot of gang violence that's kind of swept under the rug. And things like this would really help students have something else they can do after school without getting involved in violence. And the sad part is sometimes they're not directly involved in violence. You see in Chicago, a lot of times children are being killed by drive-by shootings, and it's just they're standing on the courtyard, they're playing in their schoolyard, and tragic events occur. So let's give them a safe place they can go after school where they can thrive and not have to worry about the consequences later. The customers of this are actually going to be the parents because they're the one paying for it. And they're going to receive additional education that will help to empower them become better parents. A lot of times children come in with homework and the parents don't want to help them because they're too ashamed to say they don't know how. Or they never finished their education either. So it's a big struggle, and we're going to offer programming for the parents to help them feel more comfortable. And if they haven't met that level of comfort, then they can feel comfortable coming to someone and saying, I need a little help with this. The community will have a hand in raising the future of their neighborhood. One of the greatest things about after-school programming and any programming with children is people get behind it. You never hear of a campaign where people say, we want to raise money for kids, and everyone says, no, I don't think so. It's really important in communities, and people want to see that the struggles they endured and the things that are going on, and when your city is falling into pieces, how do you get it back together? You start with your youth and you work your way up. No one wants to continue the violence. No one wants to continue the struggle. Goals and objectives. The goal of the program is to raise academic scores, grow social acceptance among different cultures, and gain a healthy physical lifestyle. The most long-term goal is going to be raising the grades in the 16-week period and bettering the health of the child. Each of these will be measured by standardized tests for the grades and by body mass index tests, or, scales for the weight portion of it. For the weight, some kids come in quite healthy, so it's also about maintaining the healthiness, the healthy level that they're at, not necessarily bettering their BMI. I often think about myself, and, when I was 6 to 10, would this have helped? Would this have changed my life? Having some type of nutrition program. Another goal is cultural competence. This will be more difficult to gauge, so it's lower on the list. We hope children will become aware of the diverse cultures around them and make decisions with those different types of people in mind. The earlier we can teach cultural sensitivity, the better we're going to be to build a diverse and impactful community. Target population. All children are accepted in the program, ages 6 to 10, who are enrolled in the public elementary school. There's no discrimination against backgrounds of culture, economic, social status. Everyone is welcome, no matter the religion, race, culture. The only thing you have to meet criteria-wise is 6 to 10 years old and in the public school system. Plans and interventions. The program will have a strong focus on STEM and literacy. STEM, for some of you who don't know, is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. There are many great websites out there that offer free STEM teaching guides, and one of them is NASA. NASA has hundreds of really great, fun projects you can do with children where they're learning, but they're not realizing they're learning. And I think that's a niche we need to hit with this after-school thing. You don't want children to think they're just getting 3 more hours of school. You want them to think, wow, we're going to do these great experiments, we're going to play some fun games. It's really, really awesome. And a lot of the ones with STEM technology are made out of recycled things that really don't cost much. A great example of this is finding the density of objects in water by floating a penny in water and then seeing if it sinks faster if you put maybe a drop of oil on it, some pepper flakes, and then Dawn dish detergent will also be a good one to drop. It's important to make sure the children feel as if they're having fun and want to return. Now, of course, I'm going to support local libraries because I work in a library right now, and my end goal is to be a librarian. Libraries offer so many different types of programming that's free and open to the public. Story times are really important for literacy, and although you don't think ages 6 to 10, you think they've kind of grown out of the story time, they really, really haven't. What you can do is you can morph it into singing and songwriting and them creating their own songs. Rhythm, rhymes, really, really important for that age group. The Winter Reading Program is something at local libraries that's also going to be really helpful. What they do each year is it's a 4-week program, typically in February, and it's 4 weeks of themed programming. And this year, for my local library, it will snuggle up with a book. And typically, it's a statewide campaign, so it'll be all over Virginia. What we did was we had tons of people come in and talk about different things you could snuggle up with. We had a day with porcupines where we read porcupine books and brought in porcupines for the children to see at absolutely no cost to the library or the patrons coming. And these are the things that we need to kind of take and work with and make really cool, creative, different programming for these children in the after-school program that I'm working with. The other thing is the library loves when this happens because it bolsters their statistics. So it's really working great for you and great for them. And typically there's a local library within an area of your YMCA. Now, physical activity will be required through participation on sports teams. This will also help socialize the children. Sports can be intimidating. I hated sports, and I didn't like it because I feel like I was forced into a role. But we've got to realize that sometimes roles can be found for children who aren't necessarily good at running. A great example is a child-ran baseball team. So those who aren't very athletic, maybe we have one of them who's great at vocalizing, be the first base coach, and they can work with people on the first base, kids their age socializing and creating relationships where eventually they're going to want to be a bigger member of the team and kind of take part more. Instruments and data used. Pre and post questionnaires will be used for guardian and staff evaluations, and for academic review, standardized test scores will be evaluated at the conclusion of the program, so after the 16 weeks. The program as a whole will be reviewed using the National After-School Association standards for quality school-aged childcare. Due to the formal contracts with guardians, I myself couldn't go in and review the evaluations. So we'd have to hire an outside reviewer who will review materials such as surveys and statistics collected throughout the designated time frame. A success case method of evaluation will be used to determine who the current model is working for and how changes can be made. Ethical issues. Many jurisdictions have strict policies for their faculty and staff, and it's important that tutors know that although this is their second job in most cases, they have a priority to the children they're working with now, but also their first job, their first position. So they need to look in their teacher contracts and make sure that they didn't sign some type of agreement saying that they wouldn't get paid from a different company working for the same children. This is something that's seen a lot in teacher contracts that I've ran into when looking up the ethical codes. It's also important that whoever's in charge of maintaining children's files, especially those with the standardized test scores, have an intense background check to make sure that that's a position that they should have. Anytime you're dealing with standardized test scores, which really could ruin a child's future if something poor got out and prospective schools were looking at them, it's so important that whoever has it really knows, what a big job it is and how they need to keep that within. Of course, self-evaluations should be given out to the students and the customers, so their parents, so they can gauge how well they're doing in the program. Budget and timeline. The program will be over a 16-week period with a fee of $10 per day per child. We'll have no more than 200 children who will participate in the program. The funds in the program will be divided so the YMCA gets their rental fee, the children receive a healthy snack, and staff get paid. The $1,600 budget will be broken down as follows. The YMCA rental, I've estimated at $40,000 for the 16-week period. This includes access to all YMCA facilities, like gym facilities they have, and it works out to $500 per day. Staff as a total is $60,000. That's $25,800 for the one administrator who will be working additional hours. We'll have 5 faculty members getting paid $15 an hour, which works out to $23,000. That also gives them not only the 3 hours they're working per day, but a few extra minutes to kind of get ready and set up. And we'll have 3 helpers making $10 an hour, which comes to a total of $7,200. There's also going to be the program evaluator, which I talked about. They'll also administer some type of standardized testing. That's $5,000 allocated for that. Snacks are allocated at $20,000. Marketing at $10,000. The thing about these programs is really getting out there and showing what you're about. So marketing is you're going to have to put money into marketing. Supplies, $10,000. Evaluations, $10,000. And then we're going to bank $10,000 for emergencies, starter fund, that sort of thing. You've got to have capital when you start a project. So I hope you enjoyed my program. It's going to be really fun. It's really intelligent. It's a lot for the kids to learn and share and pass along. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. And thank you for watching my presentation.